Giannis Antetokounmpo has once again stirred the NBA rumor mill with comments suggesting that he might consider switching teams if the Milwaukee Bucks don't deliver this season. Throughout his career, Giannis has been vocal about his ambition to win championships. He's made it clear that his loyalty to Milwaukee depends on their ability to remain competitive and contend for titles. However, this time his message carries more weight. He hinted that if things don't improve, a trade could be on the horizon. For the Bucks, this is a high-stakes situation. Trading away a superstar like Giannis is no small decision. The team has invested years into building around him, and even though the Bucks did win a championship in 2021, Giannis' frustration with the team's inability to replicate that success in recent years is becoming apparent. While it's unlikely that the Bucks would rush into trading him, especially with his immense value both on and off the court, the reality is they might have no choice if they can't meet his championship expectations. Now, let's look at where Giannis stands. At 30 years old, he's still in his prime, turning 30 on December 6th, and despite battling injuries, he's managed to play around 60 to 70 games per season. However, as we've seen with many superstar players, injuries in the playoffs can derail even the best seasons. For 2 consecutive years now, Giannis has struggled with injuries during critical playoff moments, and that has undoubtedly hurt the Bucks' chances of making deeper postseason runs. With Milwaukee staring down potential roster shakeups, it's worth considering that if anyone were to be traded first, it wouldn't necessarily be Giannis. Chris Middleton, who has been an integral part of the Bucks core for years, could be the first to go. Middleton is once again eligible for a contract extension, and re-signing him to another big deal could tie up the Bucks financially, limiting their ability to make future moves. Then there's Brook Lopez, another key veteran who also has the potential to be moved. But let's not forget that the Bucks already have another superstar on a max contract, Damian Lillard. After acquiring Dame this offseason, the Bucks' salary cap is already stretched. Between Middleton, Lopez, and Lillard, Milwaukee's financial flexibility is tight, and adding or retaining major players becomes a much bigger challenge. If they don't find a way to balance this roster, trading Giannis wouldn't immediately solve their problems, nor would it help them recover assets anytime soon, considering the Bucks are locked out of any major draft picks until 2031. Now, while Milwaukee might not feel immediate pressure to trade Giannis, the rest of the league is watching closely. His recent comments about a potential trade, while carefully worded, are enough to send shockwaves through the NBA. Teams across the league are now waiting to see what Milwaukee does this season. If they falter, don't be surprised if offers start pouring in. One team that could make a serious offer is the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Thunder are in a unique position. They have both the cap space and an unprecedented amount of draft picks. OKC has been stockpiling assets for years, and they now hold a balance of power in the NBA that few teams can match. Adding Giannis to their young core, which includes budding stars like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren, could immediately turn them into title contenders. Additionally, Kawhi Leonard's uncertain status with the LA Clippers could create even more opportunities for OKC. If the Clippers decide to tank in response to Kawhi's injury, OKC stands to benefit from draft picks that could give them even more leverage in a potential trade for Giannis. That's not all. The Houston Rockets and New Orleans Pelicans are also in the mix. The Rockets, a young and improving team, still have cap space and assets to make a play for Giannis. Meanwhile, the Pelicans hold the Lakers' 2025 draft pick, which could be a valuable asset depending on how the Lakers perform in the next 2 seasons. San Antonio is another interesting prospect. The Spurs have been patient, quietly building their team around rising star Victor Wembanyama, and they have a treasure trove of draft picks. Adding Giannis to a team that already features Wembanyama would make the Spurs instant contenders in the West. The idea of pairing 2 generational talents like Giannis and Wembanyama is sure to get Spurs fans dreaming big. Giannis' recent comments, while not a direct request for a trade, are a strategic move. He's clearly testing the waters, seeing what moves the Bucks will make to improve their chances at a title. It's a careful balancing act. Giannis doesn't want to outright demand a trade, as that could put him in a tough spot with fans and media. We've seen what happens to players who openly request a trade. They often become villains in the eyes of their own fan base, much like what happened to stars like Kevin Durant or LeBron James in the past. By not explicitly asking out, Giannis keeps his options open, but the message is loud and clear. If the Bucks don't deliver, he could be on the move. What's even more interesting is that the Golden State Warriors have also emerged as a potential suitor for Giannis. With their championship pedigree and willingness to make big moves, it wouldn't be out of the question for them to pursue Giannis, especially as they look to extend their title window in the post-Steph Curry era. So, what does all of this mean for the Milwaukee Bucks? Simply put, the pressure is on. The Bucks are still competitive in the Eastern Conference and will likely make a deep playoff run, but that may not be enough to satisfy Giannis. If Milwaukee fails to build a team that can contend for a title, or if they get knocked out of the playoffs early again, the trade rumors will only intensify. Teams across the league will be watching closely until the February trade deadline. If Milwaukee's record by that time isn't good enough, don't be surprised if the offers for Giannis start flooding in. The Bucks are at a critical juncture. They need to prove that they can still build a team around Giannis that can win championships. Otherwise, his loyalty to the team may run out. Closing remark: as the season unfolds, all eyes will be on Giannis and the Bucks. Will Milwaukee go all in and make the moves necessary to keep their superstar happy, or is it time to consider a new era? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on future NBA updates and deep dives into the league's biggest stories.